This is a public service broadcast. We had a lot of interest in our little segment that we did about Tiger Woods stats and how we found them absolutely astonishing. And we had a lot of comments just about how astonishing they were. But a really, really strong theme that kept coming out during that whole post-Christmas period was comparing Jack Nicklaus's stats to Tiger Woods. And I have to admit, I've got Jim with me, and obviously we were both sat there, and Chris was here, and we were sort of running through some of the Tiger stats. And I've got to hold my hand up to a little bit of recency bias there because, look, we grew up with Tiger Woods being the absolute alpha in this sport, and some of the stats that he had were incredible, and you could see the dominance. And names like Gary Player, like Arnold Palmer, like Jack Nicklaus, they're there. The guys are still around. You know of them, but it's enough in the past where you don't really. It's a different era. You're not really counting that towards your perception of golf. And I suppose then there's all this media influence as well in how influential Tiger Woods was. Now, I think impact-wise, nobody beats Tiger for me for what he's done to this sport and how he's just sent it stratospheric. And the fact that we're even talking about this kind of stuff, it is a testament to him. But the public service we wanted to do today, to me and Jim are going to run through some frankly insane stats about Jack Nicklaus. I'm so glad I've done this. And it's been about 3-4 days of just trawling through the internet for different reasons, but landing upon Jack Nicklaus stats as well, and finding out some of the stuff that he achieved in the game. It was truly eye-opening. And I saw a quote from, it was Gary Player, and he's a guy I follow on Instagram. Gary Player is, don't you, Jim? So
he was the first non-American to win the US Masters, wasn't he?
There you go. Yeah, I mean, absolute legend of the game. Obviously, at a time when Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus are ripping it up, so you got to try and find your little niche in there somehow. And I follow him on Instagram, and I kind of really respect his opinion on golf as well. Like, he's really forthright, classic South African, just says it as it is. But he had a quote, and it's kind of it just touched the nerve with me a little bit, I suppose, because he said, obviously having grown up in that era with Jack Nicklaus, he said Jack was unbelievable, and he was head and shoulders above everybody in our era, but nobody dominated the game like Tiger Woods has dominated it now. And because I was embroiled in finding all of these stats and things about Jack, I was like, I don't understand how he's saying that, having played against Jack Nicklaus. Like, it didn't sort of ring true when I ran through some of these statistics, and I thought it would be really great to share that, actually, for a bit of balance. I mean, I don't want to dwell too much on a whole like it's Jack versus Tiger. I mean, I've said in the comments on our Instagram post about Tiger Woods that, look, there's definitely room in this game for 2, 3, 4, 5 absolute legends, because number one, this game's been going for hundreds of years. Yes, we don't have statistics from that, and it will carry on. There's so much interest in this game at the minute, primarily because of Tiger Woods, but there's so much interest in this game. It's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and records are there to be broken. So there's going to be somebody else coming up. There's room for all of them, but it's a great, healthy debate. I mean, what's been fascinating is it's never really got nasty. No one's ever, really insulted anybody or anything like that. It's just, you've got an opinion, you back up your opinion. Some people are very gracious and go, yeah, fair point, I understand it. Some people don't, but you'll see, you're not there to win any arguments. We don't really want to do a whole like, oh, who's better, and ultimately we're going to score everyone and say at the end of today that we think.
Objective, isn't it? Everybody's got their own opinion based on their own experiences of watching and following the game and their own research. Is that the smallest glass of red wine ever?
That is. This is.
I know it's port.
This is my last bit of festive port. It is. Yeah, I think
Or you've
he's
just grown over Christmas.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, mate, I have eaten my body weight in chocolate this
You're
Christmas.
not the only one. The diet starts tomorrow.
I mean, I keep saying that. What are we on now? We're on the 5th of January, so I've got away with it for 4 days. But I've been ill, so just
Yeah,
it's
my gym's got flooded, so I can't
yeah, it's
can't
better
go.
just better
So
to
I just sat
rest.
home and ate chocolate instead.
If you're gonna do it, like that's almost. I think I read again when I was going through the internet, just kind of trying to find these stats. I heard that you get the same endorphin release from eating chocolate that you do from going to the gym. So that's basically science has said you can eat chocolate. So don't argue with science, mate. That's the standard.
Don't argue with statistics either. Come on, you
Science.
speak to a mathematician here.
Yeah, I know. What's the probability? Yes. So I'll get
Let's
into
not go there.
it. So yeah, so we're here to. I'm hoping we will probably educate quite a lot of people about Jack Nicklaus and yeah, like I say, giant in the sport. You know about him. He's obviously still alive, and very well. And Tiger Woods speaks about him in amazing, glowing terms. And they both have a great mutual respect for each other. And the headline stat, which I'll just give now, is that Jack Nicklaus won 18 majors to Tiger Woods' 15. And
Okay.
obviously, the whole chat with Tiger was he was on such an upward trajectory, he'll smash through that, and it didn't work out, and that's how the game is. But when you scratch beneath the surface of just that achievement, there is so much more to it, and it's so layered, and also it's difficult because they only really started collecting all these major statistics that we rely on now from about 1980, and it's obviously getting more and more detailed. So we're kind of victims of. I was born in 1980, so we're kind of victims of that recency bias and all the stats. And you can't. I mean, you could always statistically argue something, can't you? So let's delve into it, Jim, and I'm set your face to stun because these are stunning facts. I think.
I know the headline figure, and that's about it. So
Yeah, the 18 and the 15, right?
mm,
So, I mean, what's that? That's a 20%. He's 20% better, isn't he? Is that right? Just under
I suppose when you look at the stats and you see how many
18%.
tournaments that he played, how many majors he played, and yada yada yada.
Yes, so, right, I haven't got any order in this. There's only 3 sections I've necessarily got, and that's big headline stats I've got, which were unbelievable. I've got one amazing stat about the Open. That's our Open, the original Open, Claret Jug, all that kind of thing. And some about Augusta, because like Augusta's a mythical course and everybody understands it, but some of his play there was unbelievable. So, like I say, no particular structure to this, just reading what I've written down. So we know the majors, 1815. Okay, so by that measure, Nicklaus trumps anybody. But Jack Nicklaus had 55 further top 10 maiden finishes. Right, with 19 of them second place.
Sorry.
So he won 18 majors.
Mm-hmm.
Separate to that, he finished in the top 10 55 times. And then separate to that, 19 times he was in second place.
Bloody hell.
It's insane. Absolutely insane.
How many majors did he play? Sorry,
I don't actually know. I couldn't find how many majors he played in, but I've got another one here actually about the number of like majors here. From the age of 22 to 58. So what is that? That's 36 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
He never missed a major. 36 years, he didn't miss a major. Like 4 majors in a year, didn't miss one. No injuries, nothing. Just 36 straight years he played major competitions. Like, that's mind blowing. I mean, I suppose now, you can't say that there's more repetition. I know the players play more. I get that.
Yeah.
And I suppose there's more like, but then also they access now more biomedical science, and they can get swings that are supposed to be low impact on their body, all that kind of thing. But there's, Tiger Woods has had obviously plenty of very famous injuries, but players, do, and they sort of talk about suffering fatigue. But I mean, he's just 36 years from the age of 22. Just kept playing every single major. Now, then, there was another thing that I read where it was like, they compared them up to the ages of 48, because they said Tiger Woods' prime was up to the age of 48. I think that was when he last won the Masters. So when they took it up to that age, Jack Nicklaus, when he was playing a major, finished first, second, or third 36% of the time, which
Bloody
again
hell.
is just
Blimey.
nuts. Like a third of the time, he's going to be in the top three. Not just that I'm in the top 10 or in the top three. I mean, that's full on dominance. That added on to that, so that's the top three. So he's going to finish 36% of the time in the top three. The top five, which is still pretty mega, over that up to the age of 48 in majors, he was going to finish in the top five. He finished in the top five 53.8% of the time. Top five. Like, he was just unbeatable. Who's like, and there's so his very big thing was close matches. He'd win close matches on the last round, all that kind of thing. I mean, the mentality that you've got to go and have to win close matches at that kind of rate, like, that is absolutely unbelievable. There's another one here about the majors. So he's obviously done this big run. He's done 36 years of never missing one. He went 15 years without missing a cut in a major. So he's playing all 4 rounds in all 4 majors for 15 consecutive years. Like, I don't have a comparison, so I don't know if anybody else has got anywhere near it. But
Well, I think the main comparison, really, suppose, as part of this podcast, is in relation to what was Tiger Woods' record.
What was his record? I don't think that's come out anywhere of how many. I know he had 142 consecutive weeks or tournaments, I think it was, where he hadn't missed a cut. Now, what does that equate? Let's say, obviously, that's not all majors, is it? But I think it's 142 consecutive rounds he hadn't missed a cut. I don't know, and I'm guessing because this only tells us about the majors and 15 years of majors. Maybe there were some tournaments in between Jack did. But I mean, from both of them, that is just, they're behemoths of the game there. That's just, if you're playing them, that is just consistency. Because it's like, how do you beat them? Madness.
Can you imagine he's in the last round pairing with Greg Norman or Rory?
Faldo did Greg Norman, didn't he? I was going to say Faldo, but Faldo did Greg Norman, didn't he? I remember watching that. I was glued to the TV for that.
What was that, 96? Yeah, I remember. 96, because it was even my mum watches the Masters, the final round anyway, and certainly getting down to the the latter stages of that round, and it was just absolutely thrilling TV. I was just recounting it just as we were talking, thinking, oh, I do remember that, that competitive element. And was he 6 shots?
He was 6 shots
in the lead.
Faldo. Yeah, Faldo.
Ahead of Faldo, who was second, and then there was an 11-shot swing, and he lost and Faldo won by 5. And I don't know where Norman finished.
Absolute collapse, wasn't it? That, I mean, it was like, that was the worst capitulation I think I've ever. But it was a vivid, real memory of watching golf, and I couldn't even tell you why I necessarily decided to tune into that particular year. But 96, yeah, it was so vivid. Like, he had his hat on, didn't he? And yeah, it was just like, Faldo was just on a mission. I know we digressed, but what a moment that was.
Absolutely.
What time of year is Augusta? Is it like around May time, May, June, something like that? I can't remember.
Slightly earlier, isn't it? I thought is it April, May?
Like April.
I don't know.
Yeah, so what should have been revising for exams really at that point in 1996, but there you go. Late night on a Sunday.
Yeah, I was just doing my AS levels, so it didn't really matter.
Right, okay, so I'm going to give you this other one here. So for Jack, they did a thing where the first ever time he finished in the top 10 in a PGA Tour tournament to the last time he finished in the top 10. How many years would you guess that gap was? The first time he ever finished in the top 10 and the last time he ever finished in the top 10. Chuck a number out at me.
So I'm going to say that he I don't know how old he was when he won his first major. Probably 25.
Yeah, probably hovering around about that. Yeah.
25. I'm gonna go late 40s. So I reckon 25 years. Go 25 years.
25. Okay, so Tiger Woods was 22 years. Okay, from his first ever top 10 to his last ever top 10. I mean, so he's still going. Could change, but that was the last time. Jack Nicklaus was 38 years. That's longevity defined, isn't it? 38 years.
Wow.
Finishing in the top 10. So he's probably obviously finishing the top 10 a bit earlier. I think he did it just as he was amateur, I think, and then it went into then going pro. But yeah, his first ever tour event, finishing in the top 10 to last 38 years.
Tournament. Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking majors there. Sorry.
No, but 38 years. I mean, that's
Otherwise, I would have gone longer, obviously.
Nearly as old as I am. Right, what else have we got now here? Okay, here we go. In the 1970s, that whole decade, he played all 40 major tournaments, and he finished in the top 10 in 35 of them. So we were talking about Tiger Woods' 12-year period of dominance and like this huge body of work that he's put together. I mean, top 10, 35 out of 40 majors. That's mad. Absolutely mad. And this was another one here. They had in a little bit of Tiger versus Jack sort of thing, and a lot of people will then shove this stat out. So Jack has played in 586 PGA Tour events, of which he's won 73. So that's a 12.5% win rate. Okay, Tiger Woods really good.
Yeah, I'm going to say you win one tournament in every 8 that you play. Wow.
Yeah, amazing. Tiger Woods, this actually does put Tigers into even more perspective. He has played so far 358 PGA Tour events, winning 82 of them. His win percentage is 23% PGA Tour events. Insane. Absolutely insane. Like, that's testament to both of them. One's done it over that period of time, and the other one's just gone, this is where my candle burns, and I'm going to absolutely blitz everyone in that period. 1 in 4 tournaments I'm going to win. So Jack, and this is a bit of a testament and a nod sort of thing to Tiger Woods. Jack ended the season with a scoring average of below 70 for a round on 3 occasions in his career. So pretty, that's solid. Well, not solid.
I was going to say, yeah, I think it's pretty incredible compared to watching me play last week.
I'll tell you something. You become a bit numb to superhuman statistics, and you go 3, 3. He's playing for 50 years, or you kind of go 3 times in his whole career. He's gone an average below 70. That's insane. That's unbelievable. Average. Tiger Woods has done that on 17 occasions. His scoring average has been below 70, which is just... I'd not even considered that stat before. That's amazing.
Courses are easier nowadays, aren't they? And I think Jack's got something to do with that as well. But bearing in mind, he's made an absolute fortune of building golf courses. So you probably feel sorry for them in the fact that he considers himself the GOAT, and he's like, "Oh, you plebs! I'll make the course easy for you guys."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll put the bunkers at 180 yards. You could easily outdrive that. No problem. Right. So this is a bit of a longer one, but the PGA Tour only really started recording full-on stats from about 1980 for the very first time, and hence why there's less available about Jack. So you don't know about his putting and things like that. Anecdotally, I read somewhere, I think it was Gary Player actually, who just always said that Jack didn't have the most perfect swing, he didn't have the most perfect technique, but what he could do was play badly really well. So he would adapt his swing, he would steer clear of danger, and he very much eschewed course management. That was his style of play. So it was like, get me on the green safely, keep it in the short stuff, get me on the green safely, and then the putting is where I'm going to do it. And he was known as an absolute demon putter. So it's a shame we can't get his stats. I mean, somebody probably does have them somewhere, and if they do, they can feel free to. I've never said this before, but drop them in the comments. I've never got a chance to say that. I've got a chance to say it now. Oh, just
Oh,
TikTok
it's a
at the
little,
moment.
it's little things in life, isn't it?
Tiny
Bring you
little
so
things,
much
mate.
joy. Who would have thought a year ago?
That's all you do it for. Like and subscribe. So that was the first time they did it. Now Jack Nicklaus was 40 years old by then, so you would consider potentially he's past his prime.
What a fool! I think he's just coming into his own there. I think.
I don't know, yeah, the way he's going, but so it was certainly physically anyway, his prowess would be dipping at that point, and particularly before we got into full-on sports science and everything. So in that year, 1980, he ranked 10th for driving distance with an average of 269 yards, which is pretty impressive. And he ranked 13th on driving accuracy. Okay. Now that gave him a combined score of 23. Those are the two things added together. That is still the finest recorded season of driving all round on the PGA Tour. A combination of distance and accuracy. Still. That was in 1980 when they first started recording this stuff. So what was it with previous to that? And like nobody's ever come close to it. But I just couldn't believe it. I was like, hang on a minute. And again, I suppose we're used to not recently bias, but maybe media bias. We see the highlights reel, don't we, when the coverage is on. When you see people Rory pumping it 350 yards right down the fairway, you don't necessarily see it when he's gone way right, or unless it's a really massive thing like speed on at Royal Birkdale, that kind of thing. It's just like you can't get it. You can't understand how this 40-year-old guy just goes, yeah, whatever. Best driver in the field, and that record still stands to today, which is now 45 years later. Absolute madness. So those are the general ones. Now I will give you the Open statistic, I think, first. The reason I'm going to do that is because some of the Masters ones, they're pretty epic. But there's only one for the Open, so I'll sandwich the Masters with the others. So for the Open, for finishing consistently, Jack Nicklaus finished in the top 6 for 14 consecutive years at the Open. 14 consecutive years. Now, the Open is the toughest test of your golf. You're playing in some of the most rugged terrain ever, some of the most, naturally tough conditions.
In the British summer.
In our summer, which is horrific. You get wind, you get rain. If you're in Scotland, you might get midges. You're battling everything. You're also battling people who are going to scoff at you if you eat your sandwiches in the incorrect manner and all that kind of stuff. So, well, this guy's come over, and 14 consecutive years he's finished in the top 6. Okay. The next closest, so the next closest consecutive runs in the top 6 is 3. 3. It's nearly 5 times the number of them. It's like no one's going to touch that record ever. They're just never going to do it. But he's 14 years in the Open. That's madness. Mind blowing it was, mate. Absolutely mind blowing. So that was my Open stat. Right now, we get into the Masters. I mean, this guy's domain. So out of his 18 majors, he won 6 green jackets.
Okay.
So just tells you how much he owned that place. As a professional, in his first 5 starts, so I think he'd played a couple before he turned pro, Augusta, but in his first 5 starts as a professional at Augusta, he won it 3 times. How did you do that? Finished just won it 3 times out of 5.
People say, it takes 10 years to master. You can't play on it any other time either, can you? Unless you.
Rory McIlroy's still looking for one. You know, he's 3 in the first 5. It's like, yeah, whatever. Right, great. Oh, I'll do it. He's had 45.
Beginner's luck, obviously.
Beginner's luck, yeah. He's
Repeated twice.
He
More.
started there 45 times. Okay, so he's won it 6 out of 45 attempts. He's finished in the top 10 22 times. Like half of the time he's in the top 10. He's finished in the top 5 15 times. And then apart from his 6 green jackets, he's finished second 4 times. Look, it's just mad.
Goodness gracious, like Nadal at the French Open, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, that's the nearest you can
Wow.
get to it, can't you? You know,
Yeah.
Rafael Nadal winning, what is it, 13 he won?
14 times or something. Yeah, Roland Garros. Wow.
I mean, the number is just stunning, absolutely stunning. And then this capped it off for me. So this is my last stat now, and I was like, well, you know, what am I going to end with to say how good he was, and then how good he was at Augusta? So we see now players finishing regularly at like 10, 12. It'd be Tiger Woods, you know, when it was 12 under, 13 under, whatever. So they're knocking in birdies left, right, and centre. Jack Nicklaus still holds the record for the most birdies around Augusta. Now, okay, obviously he's played 45 times and done very well 45 times, but he's got 506 birdies in that time. So each tournament, he's averaging more than 10 birdies. Take that across the 4 rounds, it's 2.5 birdies a round he's averaging. Insane.
I don't know what it feels like because I've never had one, so it's you know, never mind 500.
Do the birdie dance.
Oh, you didn't do the dance, did you, last week?
Did I get a birdie? No, that was
yeah, because you had a provisional, didn't you? So,
yeah. Oh yeah, I had a provisional. Yeah, that was it. I couldn't claim it. And then he's also still got the most eagles at that tournament with 24
on that course as well.
On that course, and he didn't have the equipment advantage.
Yeah, of course.
Some of the players do now, where they can take a lot of the stuff out of it. You know, he's just relying on his accuracy, distance that he's got anyway, and then placement, and then putting on that course is just, everyone says is impossible. So, yeah, I mean, that's me done for stats. Honestly, I know there's not that many there, and particularly the really detailed, minutiae ones you can get with Tiger Woods, but those headline stats and win numbers and percentages and things like that, I was like, mate, I was gobsmacked, absolutely gobsmacked. I messaged Chris because you were coming on today. He couldn't make it today, sadly, but I was like, some of these Jack Nicklaus stats are insane, absolutely insane.
I just think the second place is one for me. I mean, it was just truly incredible. I had no idea. 19 second places. Goodness gracious.
19 second places.
The longevity is just incredible. And I think, you know, the physical aspect to it is one thing, but it's the mental aspect. And once you've done it 18, however many times, you're thinking, do you need to do it anymore? But the passion for it there.
Yeah, motivation to keep going. I think the other thing you sort of you forget. I mean, I know like players obviously now they travel a little bit more because they're around the world a little bit more. But look, they're traveling in private jets and they're traveling with chefs and they're traveling with a physical conditioning team and everything is. Let's get you in the height of your physical condition. And we've got so much science behind us now. In those days, there would have been something, but it would be very rudimentary compared to what we've got now. He'd have been going on commercial flights probably. And there probably wouldn't have been as much research around jet lag and things like that. So he's probably just getting up and just like, I feel terrible, but I'm just going to go out and play. And just pulverizing everybody consistently for 40 years, Just, it was. I did not expect, and I will. I said it at the start. I'll hold my hand up to this. I am a massive Tiger Woods fan. Like I will back him against all the haters as much as I can. And I don't generally like the whole getting into the debate about who's better, who's not. I think it's as everyone says, difficult to compare. However, I was not expecting to sort of read the stats and go, "Oh, I mean, is it really even close between the two of them?" Because those numbers, some of them are crushing, like absolutely crushing. There's extenuating circumstances for all of them both ways. We don't know what the workload on Jack was in between majors, do we?
No. They are different eras, and I think that's why it is very difficult to compare. Everybody's going to have an opinion on it. I don't think, I do particularly. They were just both legends of the sport.
Yeah.
And why do you have to have one GOAT? Why can't you have just a number of legends, as you said earlier
Full
on?
of goats, Jim. A field full of goats. But I mean, I think where we're coming from is, we're not staunch Tiger Woods defenders and fans and whatever. We're not Jack Nicklaus fans. We just like the game of golf, and you like say you know maths and you into statistics and things like that. You can see from those numbers, like, wow, like, they're amazing.
And you think of the win percentages at something 12.5% versus 23%. And these, but if you know the sport, then you think how incredible that is, given the complexity and the number of different elements to the game. Whereas if it playing tennis, I don't know why I always use tennis as an analogy, or football teams or something like that, the win ratio is usually a lot higher for the best of the best.
That's because you support Everton, I support Aston Villa, mate. So we just keep it all out of it, don't we?
There is that, yeah.
I say that I've just as I was saying that, it just occurred to me why you do bring up tennis. It might not be this reason. Maybe I'm putting words in your mouth here, but tennis is also a solo sport. You got no one else to blame. You're hitting that ball. It's your own physical conditioning. It's your battle against man on man, woman on woman, person on person against that other player. Golf is similar, isn't it? Except it's not
four majors a year plus the tour as well. So
I
think they're similar in that respect.
Of course they are, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you can compare them closer than quite a lot of other sports, particularly those of the highest profile, and those two are, the pinnacle really of.
These debates rage in tennis, don't they, all the time? It's like who.
Oh yeah, Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, Jimmy Connors, whoever. It's beyond Borg. Again, but I think it was just great over the years to see it's always that fascinating debate. If they were both in the prime and they played the Masters together, who would win? Well, you can't. It depends on the conditions. You can get it. There's a lot of good fortune as well. You need luck in golf. I mean, I suppose a lot of people say, well, you make your own luck, but
there's a big element of that, isn't there? The roll of the ball, how it's all, how you competitive finding it as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, there's no debate, to be honest, mate, in my mind about tennis. The GOAT is very easy. I think as soon as I say it, you'll be like, how have I missed it?
Andy Murray.
No. Oof. He wishes for playing a lot of his career in a wig, Andre Agassi. I mean, come on.
And I didn't know.
That game is hard enough as it is than wearing a full-on wig while you're trying to play Grand Slam tennis. Well done, Andre. Have you read his autobiography, Andre Agassi?
No, I haven't.
Well worth a read. Well worth a read. It's really good. A little anecdote from that was his dad used to restring rackets. So his dad knew Jimmy Connors really, really well because whenever he's in Vegas, he would come to him to get his rackets restrung. So Andre Agassi used to be the runner to go and deliver the rackets and all this sort of stuff. And he was like, Jimmy Connors was my hero because he was like a bit brash and all this kind of stuff. And he said one day Jimmy was like, when it was always a diner that he'd go and drop the rackets off to. He'd always holding court. He'd have 4 or 5 people around him. And Andre Agassi comes and drop the rackets off. And he must have said something to him, or I don't know, whatever it was. And Jimmy Connors humiliated him in front of all of his friends. And Andre Agassi said, that was the day I made it my absolute mission. One day I'm going to beat this guy on an actual tennis court. And he said when it happened, I reminded him of that day, and he had no clue that he'd said it. I thought that was brilliant. What a great anecdote that was. But yeah.
There's your motivation. That's what you need, don't you? Some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by the thrill of winning, and others by somebody being rude to them.
Somebody being rude to them, absolutely. But
So always be nice to everybody, people.
I mean, that's just a good life.
Oh, actually, no, you can't. Be nasty, because then you might create champions, but just make sure you take a percentage of the winnings.
Take a percentage of the winnings. I like it. Always thinking of the angle, Jim. I love it.
Always thinking of the money. Only because I don't have any.
Yeah, I know. You and me both. You and me both. Well, Jim, thank you for that. It was truly eye-opening, that episode. Like, did not understand what the fuss was all about a little bit, but yeah, I certainly know the fuss now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, obviously people can make their own minds up about where they fall on that debate if they want to have that. I get it. For me, just two giants of the game. I think there's a lot of stats that the two of them would love to have off each other, definitely. And I think there's a lot of stats in there that they both hold. I think they're going to stand for a long, long, long time. But the player that does come along and beat them, that's going to be something worth watching, isn't it?
Nishant Agarwal.
I think I'm past my prime.
No, it's Chris, actually. Sorry, he's going to...
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
Now he's got his coach. Yeah.
Is that where he is today? He's plotting world domination.
He was like, I don't want to be wasting half an hour of my time talking about Jack Nicklaus. I want
He's on the putting green.
Yeah.
In the snow in his garden.
He's writing his own page in history somewhere. Yeah, actually, he can't even do anything. There's nothing open. It's a rarity, but a lot of things are closed. It's snowing in the UK. Like, some of the American viewers and listeners are going to be like, yeah, of course it's winter time, but we don't get snow much here now, do we?
We don't know. When we do, we know about it, because the whole country grinds to a standstill.
That's it. Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad in some parts. I just live in a city centre, so it never really affects me. So
yeah, it was.
What's all the fuss about? I still walk to Tesco's or the pub.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, mild frost this morning is how I would have described it. But there you go. But yeah, I think he is. I didn't think about that. Maybe I'll message him in a minute and just say, happy practicing, Chris.
Coach says I'm not allowed to hang around with you anymore.
Yeah,
you're a distraction.
Actually, yeah. I mean, if I get my own coach, what happens then? They're like, they're going to instruct us to take these challenges seriously. Then they'll be like, oh, no, don't give him honour to tee off first if he's not got it, or make him do it first. Or, he's got me.
Well, I will be able to be bribed, and not enough kind of for fixing the challenges.
Yeah, well, I mean,
your challenges, not anything else.
You're going to be there, mate.
I work in finance, so the bribery act is something that I pay particular attention to, and we never do anything immoral.
What's a bribe? And on that bombshell. Yeah, thanks, mate. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. It's really interesting.
For listening to me ramble on about Jack, but yeah, what a phenomenal man, and I think we ought to raise a glass to him, I suppose. But long may he continue, because it allows us to have good, positive chats about it.
And hopefully everybody can spell his surname right. I've got a bee in my bonnet about people spelling my surname wrong. So
Nicklaus. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Next time on an official episode of the Top 110 Golf Podcast. But until then, adios.